Oops. This page is just vocabulary. We've got the x-axis, that's the horizontal one, goes left to right. Y-axis, up and down. Ordered pair is a point defined by x and y coordinates. Like x, comma, y. And then if the ordered pair is 0, 0, we call that the origin. And then quadrant, that's where we take the 4 spaces. Okay, I have to explain my marker as well. I didn't draw all those up, but they like to draw themselves. Sometimes it's because it's not charged, and sometimes my board is just so touchy. Let's try switching this battery. See if that helps. Okay, so on this picture, we're just going to label pieces of information. This middle point, right in the middle, what is that called? The origin, and I'm going to also write, 0, 0 there. Okay, and then I'm going to label the quadrant. So this space up here is quadrant 1. And we label it in Roman numerals like an I, but we say 1. And then it goes counterclockwise. So quadrant 2, or II, 2. And then 3, or III. And then 4 is IV. So the quadrants go counterclockwise. In the quadrants, all of the ordered pairs in quadrant 1 have what signs? What? Positive or negative? Positive. Both positive. X is positive and Y is positive. X is positive and Y is positive. When we go to quadrant 2, now we have what then what? Negative positive. Negative positive. We go to quadrant 3, we start at the origin, we go det, det, det. Negative, negative. Or in quadrant 4, we go positive, negative. The label that I'm going to put outside over here has to do with the x-axis, but there's like 2 labels, so I'm going to specify what part of the x-axis is this. It is the positive x-axis. So that means on the other side is the negative x-axis. And we'll do the same thing for the y values. All the way at the bottom will be which? Negative y-axis. Who's right behind me? Well, nobody's totally there. If I'm ever blocking, I move a lot. Sometimes I have to stand right in front of it because it like marks all over the place if I don't. But I will promise I move it. If I don't move and you still can't see, you just say, Priscilla, could you move? And then at the very top, what's that going to be up here? Positive y-axis. Excellent. We have vocabulary, so if I'm using the positive y-axis and you forget what that is, it's written down on that front page. Go ahead and turn the page. And next we're talking about x-intercepts and y-intercepts. When you have an intercept, it's going to cross that axis. So if we have an x-intercept, it's going to pass through the x-axis. That's the x-intercept. If we have a y-intercept, It'll pass through the y-axis.
And only that, like, only those, the intercept. Because, like, the x, you see how it's, like, kind of hitting the y-axis?
You mean the x? Wait.
Or the line's kind of hitting the y-axis?
Yeah, that would be the y-intercept. It can have both.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, it can have both in the same picture. I drew a picture where I dotted in the separate vocab word. And then another thing that's important about the intercepts is for the x-intercept, the y value is 0. And for the y-intercept, the x value is 0. It becomes the intercept when the other value is 0. You can see that on the next pictures, and it does say circle the x-intercepts, or set, if there's 1 or 2 or 3. Left to right, we're going to go left to right, and I'm going to go until I see on the x-axis where my graph crosses through, and I see this first one, and it says to circle it. And I'm going to go again, and I'm going to see another place where it crosses, so I'm going to circle that. So those are the x-intercepts. It says to star the y-intercept. So we're going to start at the very bottom for the y values, and we're going to go up, 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 up. And does it ever cross the y-axis? Somewhere around here. Not quite sure. Somewhere around there. Okay. Can you try the second one? Circle the x-intercepts. Star the y. So we're going to star the y-intercept and circle the x-intercept. Look good? Moving on. Next is a review on slope. We have the equation. Remember we say like rise over run, that's slope. It talks about how steep a line is, if there's any steepness to it. So something is incorrect here that after they're all copied, I realize, and I'm not about to recopy all those. So you guys need to fix something here. Pull that out. Scribble that out. This should be undefined. And this should be 0. They were backwards, so fix that typo. Fix it. Fix it. It's wrong on your paper. You need to fix it. Okay. Positive slope. The line goes up. Just like you read left to right, the line's going up, or it goes down to the left. But I like to think, just like you're reading, positive slope is going to go up. Left to right goes up. Negative slope, the way that you read left to right, the negative slope goes downhill. Positive goes uphill, negative slope goes downhill. Undefined slope. You look right here, it says, example, 0 divided by any number. If I take, oh no, that's right. Up and down, but not left or right. So scribble that part out too. Okay. Undefined slope would be if we have our slope that has any number divided by 0. Any number divided by 0. Try to fix that. Nope. There we go. Any number divided by 0. And if you look right there, do you see that number divided by 0 spells something? It says, no, you can't have a number divided by 0. If you typed it in your calculator will be like, you made a mistake. No, you can't have a number divided by 0. That's the one that's undefined slope. So the slope that gives you 0 is when you have 0 divided by any number. If you have 0 divided by some number, it's okay. It's just 0. Okay? Now what we're going to do is we're going to choose a point on the first graph. We're going to choose a point anywhere in your graph. Go ahead and choose a point. And in order to make a line, or in order to find the slope, you need 2 points. I want you to pick a second point so that your line will be a positive slope when you're done. So you picked the first point, now pick a second point so that your line would be positive when it's done. Some of you already have a line so you're working ahead. Plot 2 points on your line. So if I want it to be positive, what does the line need to do as I go to the right? It's got to go up. So I need to pick something higher than that, anywhere to the right. And then how can we make that a really straight line? Mr. Well, I can't take your ruler home. How will I do straight lines at home? Do you know the answer to that? Well, you don't have to buy a ruler even. And yeah, your planner, your folder, you take a piece of paper and fold it once or twice, it makes a perfect straight edge. Your student ID, your driver's license, like lots of things that you can use the edge for. It doesn't even have to be a ruler. So we're good. But speaking of these rulers, I see that we're already playing with them. It's really, really fun to like fold them over and over again, but unfortunately you fold these things so much they'll get warped, and then they won't make straight lines anymore. So I do have some rulers that are not foldable if you can't be trusted with one of these. I have other ones. You can use the ones that don't fold. You know who you are. You just switch it out if you need to. Alright, so I drew my 2 points, and then I'm going to use my straight edge, and I'm going to draw my line through these 2 points. Now, when you draw your line, I expect that the line goes all the way through your graph. Erase. I expect the line goes all the way through your graph. Don't just connect your 2 points. Make it go all the way through. And then what does the line do past the graph? It goes on forever, so we need arrows to denote to anybody looking at my paper that you know this keeps on going. Okay, the second one is negative. So I'm going to pick a point. And what should I pick to the right to make it negative? Something lower. So it needs to go negative. C is 0. So pick 2 points and connect them so that your slope is not positive and is not negative. It's right in the middle. Not positive and not negative. To make a 0 slope, and I drew an example of it earlier, it needs to be rise, 0, run, anything. So if I rise 0 and I run, I don't know, 4, I'll end up here. Or if I rise 0 and I run -2, I would end up here. What kind of line am I making? Oh, they're all straight lines. What kind of? That's all right. Everybody says that every single year.
What's it called?
Horizontal line. Yep, you got it. That's one of my favorite jokes to say. They're all straight. Whoa! Ooh! Yikes! Told you my thing acts up. Sorry, guys. I had them in here so many times to try to fix it, and who knows. Okay, and then the last one. Oh my gosh. I need to move this. That might be part of the problem. Okay, and the last one is undefined. So I just pick a point anywhere I want to pick a point. And then if you look at the undefined, it says that we're going to rise any number, but we're going to run 0. So how much should I rise?
0. Oh. Wait.
Pick a number other than 0. I'm going to rise 1. So if I rise 1, run 1, but run 0. That was hard to say. Then I'm making a vertical line. Here I rose -3. So we're making a vertical line. This thing is not making me very happy right now. There. Don't look at all the other marks, just the line. Okay, when you're ready, turn page. We're almost done. Using the 2 points, find the slope of the line. So on the page we just turned, it has the equation for the slope. If you do not have the slope equation memorized, then you should practice writing it while we do our notes. And maybe even practice writing it while you do your homework. If there's a formula you don't have memorized, practice it. Because I'm not going to give you the slope formula. Alright, that's from Algebra 1. So, slope formula, M. Okay, I gotta use my mouse because I don't want to mess this up anytime. Sorry, it's going to take me just a teeny bit longer to write it with a mouse, but slope formula is going to be M equals y2 minus y1 over x2 minus x1. What does it stand for? If we have a little tiny number to the bottom, it's called sub y sub 2. What does that mean? It's the second y. So the y value, you know, is the second in each order pair, and this one's going to be 3. The second y is going to be 3. Subtract the first y, -2. So you may be able to work faster than me because I'm trying to write with my mouse, and please feel free to, do all 3 of them. But I'm going to go through it, at least the first one. 3 minus -1 over, and then second x is 4 minus first x is -2. Remember when we have minus minus, that becomes add a positive? So I get 4 over 6. And help me out, is that the final answer? Why is this not the final answer? It can be reduced because you can factor out the same number from the top and the bottom. You can say 4 is 2 times 2, right? And 6 is 3 times 2. And what happens to those 2's? They cancel. So we get, our slope is 2/3. Okay? Now, work ahead and do the other 2 if you haven't done those yet. Oh, and you can know. And does it say to classify them in the directions? So if I'm classifying, I forgot to classify the first one. That would be positive. There you go. All right, so I do 9 minus 6 over negative 3 minus negative 3, which is plus 3. I get some number, I get 3, which is a number, over 0. What happens if I have a number over 0? If I have n over O? Undefined. That says no. So we say undefined.
What was it? I don't actually.
Undefined.
You just write undefined for a comma.
Yep. Because when we classify it, it's undefined. And when we ask for the slope, it's undefined, so it's basically undefined. All right, last one. You guys already have it? Some of you? Most of you? I can't write very fast with the mouse. 2 minus 4 over 3 minus 2. I get negative 2 over 1. Does that reduce negative 2 over 1? Yep. So I'll reduce it. And that is classified as a negative slope. All right. Equations of lines. We have 2 forms we're going to do today. The third one we will cover, but not as in depth. So today we're really looking at slope-intercept form and point-slope form. Slope-intercept form is the one that you probably remember the most from Algebra 1. Y equals mx plus b. The m is our slope value, and it is multiplied by our x. And then the b is the y-intercept, which when you write the y-intercept, you write it as an ordered pair. So like 0, comma, b. Okay? And then over here, point-slope form, you probably haven't used as much, but you should have used it at some point. We're going to use more than I think we'll use the first one. I think we'll use them both the same, but you have to have it memorized. And if you don't have it memorized, then every time we do an example, rewrite it. Okay? I'm going to rewrite it as well. It just takes me longer up here. So point-slope form is y. Do you see a sub for this first y? Is there a little number? No. So that is just y. It's not a number you're going to plug in. That's just keep it as a variable y. Minus y1. That has a sub. That means you're going to go plug something in that's going to be the first y. Equal sign. M is our slope. Parenthesis x, you don't plug anything in, minus x1, you do plug something in. So you're going to plug 3 things in. The x1, the y1, and the slope. So you're going to be plugging in x1, y1, which is a point, and you're going to plug in your slope. And this form is called point-slope form. Anytime you have the slope and one point, you use point-slope form. How can we remember that? If I had a point and I had the slope, how could I remember I use point-slope form? Come on, answer the question. What? So there's a point and the slope, and it's called point-slope form. Use that one. If you have the slope and the y-intercept, what would you use? Slope-intercept form. Okay? So you know which form to use by the information that you're given. Standard form we're going to talk about later. It does say the form is ax plus by equals c. It says that a, b, and c are integers. And that A has to be a positive. I'm not going to focus on max. We're not going to do it today. We'll do it a different day. Example 4. Write the equation of the line using the given information. What information am I given? What's this thing? M. What is that? That's the slope. And what's this over here? A point. Which formula should I use? Point-slope form. If we don't have it memorized, let's write it. Y minus y1 equals m parenthesis, x minus x1. That's point slope form. And we're going to keep writing until we have it memorized. Now we'll plug in the stuff we know. Y minus y1 is 3 equals, the slope is negative 3, parenthesis x minus negative 2. Now, we are going to change this into the other form because that's usually what we do. So to change it into slope-intercept, we will distribute the negative 3 by multiplication. So negative 3 times x is negative 3x. Negative 3 times positive 2 is negative 6. And then we have to get y by itself, so we're going to add 3. So we will have y equals negative 3x minus 3. Okay, so you're just plugging the stuff in, and then you're solving for the other form. Question B. What are we given? Question B, we are given 2 points. Is there a 2-point formula? There's slope-intercept, there's point-slope form, and I haven't talked to you about standard, so don't include that one. Is there a 2-point formula? Yeah. Both formulas say slope in them. So I kind of feel like I have to get the slope first. Can we find the slope from 2 points? Yeah, so let's do that first. Find the slope. Let's see if I can do that. See if I give my pen a rest if it'll behave now. So we're going to find our slope first, and we're going to do y2 minus y1 over x2 minus x1. Oops, I made a mistake, didn't I? That should be 1. Nope. Sorry, guys. Okay, I get negative 2 for my slope. So now I know the slope, and what else do I know? Do I know an intercept, or do I know a point? Well, they both have slope. I would do point slope. Because in order to know the intercept, you have to have an order pair where where the x value is 0. Even if you have the intercept, it still works for point slope. So let's memorize less things. Point slope form is y minus y1 equals m parenthesis x minus x1. You can choose whichever point you want. Most people just go with the first one because that's the formula, but it does not matter. So I'm going to use the first one. Y minus negative 1 equals my slope of negative 2 times x minus negative 2. So I'll make plus plus instead of negative negative. And I'm going to distribute the negative 2, 2x minus 4, it's from distributing. And then subtract that 1. You should get negative 2x minus 5. Again, sorry that I'm doing this with my mouse. All right, last page. Last example, we'll go quick. Last example. Make sure everybody's caught up, I don't want to go too fast. All right, last example is, it says, take this first graph. It says plot and label 3 points on each of these graphs. So what it means by plot and label, you're going to look here. Are there any dots you could like darken in? Like, I don't know, like this one. You don't have to choose the same as me, but if I were to choose that one, to label it, it would be from 0, 0, negative 1, 3. Okay, and then we can pick another point. I don't know, maybe that one. And to graph that one, I would start at 0, and I would go nothing to left or right, and then I'd go straight up 3, so 0, 3. And then how about I go all the way over here? That would be 4, 3. You can pick whatever points you want. And then we're going to answer the questions underneath. So straight underneath this, you're going to see this like dotted line. It's dividing it up because you're going to answer the same question for both graphs. So right underneath it, just in this space, what do you notice about the x values of the one that we just did? What do we notice about these x values? Do they have anything in common? What do you notice about the x values then? Be any number? They're all different. It's easier to write in cursive on here. And then underneath that, it says, what do you notice about the y values? So in that first example, what? They're all the same. All the same. That was not a correct M. There you go. So now we do the same thing with the other graph, which mine's in green, yours is just whatever color it is, black and white. So you pick three dots and label them. And then go underneath and say something about their x's. And then go underneath and say something about their y. Okay? You do the same thing we just did. Plot some, label them. I'm asking you to label them. It's been a long summer. Just want to make sure we label them correctly, okay? So what numbers, what plot is that? Put that one there. You write down. So we start here, put your pencil here. And then we go -1. And we go -3. So write -1, -3. In order to pair. -1, -3. -1. Yep. -3. Good. Can you do that one? So you guys who are done, read the last two sentences. We'll fill those in a moment. So this is not asking for the slope of the line. It's asking for how we would write an equation that you would graph. And if you're not sure, I'll write it up there in a moment. You go here, and then 4. Negative 1, 4. So what's that one then? Negative 1, then 0. So the second number is up or down. Negative 1, and then 0 up or down. Okay, what do we notice about the green one? What do we notice about the x values? All the same. And what about the y values? All different. Oh, I ran into the wall with my hand. All different. Can you guys read cursive? The equation of every horizontal line. So which one was horizontal? That was this one here. The equation of every horizontal line, the y values are the same. So it's going to be y equals, and then we'll just call it A. And that A is going to be like where A is any number. I'll just write that. Where A is any number. And then the second part, the equation of every vertical line is in the form of, well, in the vertical line, what was the same every time? In the vertical line, the x's were the same, so we're going to write x equals A. And then that is also going to be where A is any number. So if you have something like x equals 4, it's going to be a vertical line. Y equals 10, horizontal line. Now, these guided notes are for you to have out while you work on your worksheet. Like, I don't expect anybody after a lesson, especially when we get to the good stuff, to have it completely memorized and just like put away your notes and not have to look anything up. So you might as well have them out right now while you work on your assignment. Your assignment is a worksheet. It should be like really similar to what we did for this math. So this is your time to see if you understood what we just did. What if you didn't understand what we just did? You should ask a question. Good. I may have counted wrong. When I start talking, I'm just so we'll figure that out. It is okay to say to your friend, hey, can we compare our answers for number 2? It is not okay to say to your friend, can I have your answer to number 2? One of those is cheating, the other one is collaborating. Okay? It's okay to ask for assistance. It's not okay to just copy down their thoughts. Alright? So go ahead and get started. I don't know how much time we have. I gotta stop the recording too. You have like 5 minutes.